All right, starting part 2. Welcome back. Now we're working on the front side of our athlete. Considering that she's already warmed up, we've already run through the back side. She's flipped, so now I need to kind of reintroduce myself to the body. I love starting with the feet. Love this long traction from the back. Little wiggle, bring it back. Trying to find that wiggle pace again. Let's hit one more, then we're going to pick on these legs. Pick on her right leg. Same story as before. Superficial friction, working through that calf, working up the leg. Legs get really floppy on the front side, so I like to keep some type of pin to hold her down while my other arm does the work. 2 arms is okay, but it just starts getting a little out of control. So, superficial friction up and down, 2 or 3 times, working from the lateral hip into the quads. More meats on that lateral side, lateral anterior tib. So once we've gotten down to the end, here's our stretch. Gauge the heel, we'll push it forward, flip, pull it back. That's where our stretch is. Traction for the leg at least. Gastroc stretch, calf stretch. Anterior tibialis for as much of a stretch as it is. Leg pull one more time. Now here's again, if we wanted to dive in some deeper work, say she's a runner, she will ask for a little bit more work. I don't generally do a lot of deep work on the front shins, but we could do a little bit of that compress and twist with the palm or the knuckles on any trouble areas on this side. And again, just as a transition, little leg shake and finish up. I would stretch at the end, so we'll get to that in a second. Switching the other leg, superficial friction again. Getting that stuff warmed up, especially on a cold race morning. Legs are stiff, tissue is restricted. One more time, superficial. Then back. Scoop the heel, brace the top. Traction. Stretch the calf, traction, stretch the calf, one more, stretch the calf. And again, if we wanted deeper work, this is the time to focus. You can even rotate that leg into the technique to kind of speed it along and use a little less effort. One more through those quads. Waking it back up, back to our traction. So now a lot of runners, this is kind of be the time to ask, do you like your arms done or do you want your hip stretch? This is often where in my head, my timing dictates I have the chance to do one or the other. I'll demo both though. So I'll transform from the legs, transferring up to the arms and shoulders. Here, I'll pin the wrist, start on the shoulder. I can be nice and close to the table so her arm doesn't flop off, but I don't feel like I'm supporting her. So I'm going to brace this wrist to superficial friction. Pump, 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 going down the arms. I'm going to switch so I can get the forearm. Waking it up. Get through this a couple times. And 3 is always the magic number in my head. 2 if I'm in a hurry. 4 if I'm trying to stall, adding more time, or 3. Little wiggle, little wiggle. We can try a stretch. I like a stretch laterally to traction out the shoulder. I'm always a little nervous to take it any more. If I would take it overhead, fold that elbow and take a nice stretch this way. Just be very careful of shoulder. Got a very fragile joint. And you can see even in that stretch, I kind of got that little pump, that little whip. Transition to the other side, work my way around. Shoulder, engage the arm. Again, there's always traction on the arm here, so it makes it nice. It kind of follows me as I lunge through. Forearms. Switch the hands if you need it. You always have to pay attention too as we start looking down, working at these close things. Being mindful of our posture, keeping that straight spine, neutral spine whenever possible. Back up to the shoulder, one more time. Superficial friction, little petrissage too. Arms are hard to, it's almost easier just to squeeze it. Traction and shake. Outside for that lateral stretch, being mindful of the shoulders here. See where her elbow hinges. I'll bring the arm back in, switch my hands. I like to force the joint. This is where you should bend. Oh, she says, that's very nice. Take her in a nice stretch. You can brace the hip, get a little bit of extra length here. Bring it back down. Now, I would generally, quickly, finish here with just a little trap work. And if we decided we wanted to, and or there was time, I would probably do some very quick and light hip stretching at the very end. Transition, let's show you that real quick. So, back to the leg.